Hallo, das ist Boris aus Deutschland. Der Fachkräftemangel ist in Deutschland in aller Munde. Die Politik und die Wirtschaft hat es verstanden, aber es scheint dennoch an der Masse der breiten Bevölkerung vorbeizugehen. Can I say you are a TikToker?
I'm on YouTube as well, but mostly I'm a TikTok content creator because that's the platform I can identify with the most.
If you're thinking of moving to Germany, you've got to know this one thing. It's a sinking ship that's desperately trying to stay afloat by selling more boarding tickets. Why do you think they recently introduced their version of the green card? Because they're facing a massive labor shortage that's gonna cause the social welfare system to collapse.
You know, I just came from an interview right now from one of those positions that they really need people. And the guy asked me more than 3 times who would take care of my daughter when I'm working. You know, you read on his papers that they say, oh, we don't have workers. We need workers. But you know, we're here. I'm here, I'm qualified. I speak language. I'm applying for everything. But if I try to get any nice job, slightly nicer job, I can't get it. I cannot get it. Maybe because I'm brown, maybe because I'm a mother.
Wir kontaktieren Camila, ursprünglich aus Brasilien, jetzt mit Kind in Deutschland. Ein emotionaler Clip über ein fehlgeschlagenes Bewerbungsgespräch fand bei einer Viertelmillion TikTok-Zuschauern Anklang.
Yeah, but it just shows me how it's not just my opinion. There are many other people who's passing through the same thing, and it's not a problem in me. Because after receiving so many no's, I start thinking maybe I am really not qualified. Maybe I am not enough for all those things that I want to do. Maybe I'm not good enough. But seeing that happens so with other women, other mothers, it really showed me that the problem is not in me.
We are currently in a situation where we telling the world, please come to Germany.
Definitely, yeah.
And what's the reality then once people arrive here? Do they find Germany ready for them?
Definitely not. From what I see, from speaking to friends or just listening to what's happening on social media, as much as Germany wants to invite people, and it needs it definitely, because as you said, or as we know, there is a problem with the demographics.
Das Problem mit der demografischen Entwicklung. Jeder hat davon gehört. Was bedeutet das eigentlich? Wir sind beim Bundesinstitut für Bevölkerungsforschung.
Deutschland hatte seit Mitte der 70er Jahre eine sehr niedrige Geburtenrate. Sie war 4 Jahrzehnte lang zwischen 1,2 und 1,4. Einen so langen Zeitraum hatten kaum ein Land in der Welt so niedrige Geburtenraten. Und man sieht hier, wie jedes Jahr die Geburten niedriger sind. Und wir hatten seit den 1970ern Geburtenraten von zwischen 1,2 und 1,4. Vor allem aber sieht man, dass die Bevölkerung altert und dass es ganz viele in dem Alter gibt, die jetzt knapp 60 Jahre sind, die im nächsten Jahrzehnt in Rente gehen. Und insofern werden sich ganz viele der jetzt noch Arbeitenden in Rente bewegen und es kommen viel weniger Jüngere nach. Und das ist ein großes Problem in Deutschland.
Das heißt 2 Dinge. Viel mehr Rentner, die alle bezahlt werden wollen, von immer weniger jungen Leuten. Aber da man diese Problematik in Deutschland schon eine ganze Weile kennt, hat man eine Strategie entwickelt, die dafür gesorgt hatte, dass die Geburtenrate in Deutschland wieder ansteigt. Plus über 1 Million Ukrainer leben jetzt in Deutschland.
Wir haben eine sehr, sehr hohe Zuwanderung und wir haben seit 1990 etwa eine Zuwanderung von im Durchschnitt 300.000 Personen pro Jahr. Und besonders in den letzten Jahren durch auch den Krieg in Syrien gab es doch eine sehr, sehr große Zuwanderung nach Deutschland. Und seit etwa im letzten Jahrzehnt ist die Geburtenrate deutlich angestiegen und sie ist seit 2015 bis heute im Bereich zwischen 1,5 und 1,6. Und das ist ein erheblicher Anstieg. Deutschland war lange Zeit in Europa eins der Schlusslichter und inzwischen ist es im europäischen Mittelfeld.
Aber es reicht nicht. Deutschland hat einen extremen Fachkräftemangel, wie Kanzler Scholz oftmals betont, wenn er die Welt nach Deutschland einlädt, um sich hier niederzulassen. Vieles wird versprochen, da man will, dass es funktioniert, Deutschland wirklich zu einem Einwanderungsland zu machen.
Es geht um Arbeitskräfte aus aller Welt, die hier bei uns mit anpacken wollen. Das heißt, wir brauchen weniger Bürokratie und schnellere Verfahren.
Obviously, at least on paper, politicians always want the best for the country. But I believe sometimes it's very, very difficult to identify the pain points that foreigners go through. Why? Because it doesn't really matter as much, at least it hasn't mattered before as much as it does now. Because the foreigners cannot vote, they cannot make their voices heard as much as Germans can. And because Germans can vote, if something's bothering them, they make their voice heard, and the politicians will then enact that change or do something for something to take place. With foreigners, this doesn't happen.
We recently learned there was some statistics from Internations,
Yes.
and I think that when I first saw your TikTok, you used the number 52.
Yes.
And then I thought, so you must have seen the same statistic.
And with Germany ranking in last place as a country to start a new life in as an expat, is this really what you want for you and your children? I don't think so.
I've seen those statistics from Internations. They state that Germany is the least popular country for expats to come out of a survey, out of a poll of 52 countries, which was shocking, absolutely shocking. And the argument was, or there were many arguments why it placed so low. A part of it was due to the lack of digitalization. Also, it's hard to find an apartment.
Would you say that it is more difficult for foreigners to get an apartment than for Germans?
If you're a foreigner, it is more difficult. Maybe people are not as friendly to you. Maybe they are unsure about your financial situation. Maybe they just don't like your accent. I don't know, right? But I definitely think it isn't an issue that touches upon foreigners much more than native Germans.
Well, I have some things to complain, but I love Germany. It was my dream country. I always wanted to come to Germany as a kid, and I really like it. I made this country my home, but I do have some critique. But no way it's perfect. And I think it's fine if I complain about some things. We can always get better.
How are you being seen by the community?
That's a very good and interesting question. The comments generally are divisive. There are a lot of people who support the things that I say and support the things that I do, shedding a light on the problems that happen in Europe, happen in Germany specifically, which I think is very, very important.
So they need young, hardworking people to bump up those tax revenues.
Of course, there are comments that are absolutely not welcome, something extremely negative or just plain hateful without reason against Germany. Maybe somebody's angry at Germany for something that happened to them. Others, of course, are much more civil, and there is constructive criticism, right? Constructive feedback and input that is very, very important in creating a discussion around the problems that exist, creating awareness for this, because only through that will we be able to collectively, or I would say Germany as a nation and Germans will be able to collectively come up with a solution to improve the country.
Positives geschah dann auch noch für Camila, die uns anrief und sagte, I found a job.